So, I am just going to turn it over to you, Cindy. Thank you again for being here. So glad you could make it tonight.
Yeah, I'm so glad I can be here. I'm so glad I could be here with you, Jenny. We've gone through a lot of homeschooling together, haven't we? And yeah, it's just been wonderful. Um, I thought I would just give a little background about how we got started with homeschooling and what that's kind of looked like for us. Well, first of all, I'm married. We have three sons and six daughters, and um, we've all three of my sons are now mechanical engineers. Kind of took after their dad, and I have a daughter working in D.C. and um, a daughter that's a social worker, daughter that's a teacher, kind of like take after their mom, and a couple girls in college, away at least for now until things get a little hairy. We're hoping they'll stay there till Thanksgiving. And then we have a 16-year-old, and she's the last one at home. And so we're kind of at the tail end of this, but we have just really enjoyed homeschooling and would have had no idea when we started that it would look like this and how much it would impact our family life. And um, I started homeschooling, I figured 28 years ago. And when we started it, I wasn't sure. I'd seen a couple families that had homeschooled, and their kids seemed just really interested in learning, and their family life seemed something that I wanted for our own family. And so I started looking into it, and I started actually in spring before my oldest son would have started kindergarten, and because I figured then it would give me a chance to know by September either, oh, that's not going to work for us, or to say with confidence that we were going to go ahead and homeschool. And we got started, and we just really enjoyed it. And those were very precious days of stepping into that. And at that time, it was not a very common way to teach. I would say more so now, and even this year especially, we're seeing more and more people look at that as an opportunity, and it really has been wonderful for our family. We kind of started off with a full curriculum. Came in a box, had pencils and every paper and every book you could possibly need, and because I was not very confident yet in my homeschooling abilities, and over the years that has just changed. We've tried different things, unit studies, which are just a real fun way to tie a topic into many different subjects. And that works really well when you've got several smaller kids, and you can just pull that all together. We've done some classical education. In fact, Jenny played a big part in that with our family as well, teaching Latin for many years to my children. And in fact, one of my daughters now teaches Latin at a classical Christian school, and we have Jenny to thank for a lot of that. And we've done kind of Charlotte Mason approach, just kind of that living books kind of direction. And maybe I'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. But one thing that we've kept in mind as we've gone along, just remembering that you are not a slave to your curriculum, but that the curriculum is there to kind of serve you and to help you along. And so we've kind of gone that route and let some of their interests direct. Even now, my 16-year-old is very interested in meteorology, so it's not going to be her main science, but we're dabbling in that this year just because it brings her joy.